welcome back to Rusty Jeep. Thank you for stopping by. And as usual, if you like what you hear, take the time to hit the like button and subscribe on the way out. Today I'm going to tell you a story about me and my wife going camping in the deep woods of Oregon and how it almost got us killed by a stampede. That's right, a stampede. Before I start the story, I'd like to ask you to take a moment and think if you had any strange encounters, Bigfoot, UFO, 411, and if you want to send them in and I'll put them to a video, I would appreciate it. Okay, now that we've gotten all that out of the way, I'm going to start the story by letting you know that me and my wife lived in the Bay Area, and we went on a lot of camping and four-wheel drive trips, sometimes weekends, sometimes week-long trips. This particular trip, we were going to the Cascade Mountains in Washington. But first, we were going to stop by Lassen National Park. That's right, Lassen National Park. Even after my Bigfoot encounter, and if you haven't heard it, there's a link below. I love that park. I love the surrounding areas of that park. Great fishing, great trails, just in general, a great area. But we camped there, and the next day we headed off to Oregon to do some camping on BLM land that we found in a book, and they said they had some good trails up there too. We took our time, took the back roads up. I think it was toward Canyon City, that general area. But we found the day went by pretty fast. Wound up being in this little town with a shanty for a convenience store. Very nice people, but I did something I don't usually do. I asked for directions if they knew how to get to the entrance to the wilderness area. They were nice enough to tell me how to get there. We got there, and then we wound up going on this road. Dirt road had some ruts, but in general I thought it was pretty well maintained. I say about 45 minutes to an hour. Now Oregon forests, they have some dense areas and they have some a little bit wider spread areas. This was both. It was some dense areas and then some open areas. We got to the campground. Nice campground. People that went there maintained it. And that's the thing about the Bureau of Land Management. They have great campgrounds. They're free. All you have to do is leave it better than you found it. I encourage people to use them as much as they can. We set up camp. We had our two dogs with us. Best dogs you can ever ask. Best camping dogs you can ever ask for. They went with us everywhere. Now back then, I keep on saying back then, but the internet, cell phones, and smartphones weren't too prevalent or non-existent. We got some weather came in and it started getting pretty stormy. We've camped in rain, storms, and everything, and we know the drill. Make sure where our tent is set up. Make sure there's a footprint underneath the tent. Make sure we're not in any type of drainage situation. We did all our quick checks. We had our dinner pretty quick, secured the Jeep, and we got into the tent. This storm that came through, this was a decent storm, and it started raining and pouring, and then the lightning started coming in. Now, when I say lightning, it was lightning strike after strike after strike. I mean, something out of a movie, just boom, boom, boom. The dogs were kind of restless. If you ever had dogs and, they don't like the lightning too much. So we were trying to calm them down in the tent. And then I heard a faint moo. I swear to you, we both looked at each other and they're like, did you hear that? Now, I'm from New England, so I've camped in Maine, and when you hear a moo, the first thing that comes into mind is a moose. Well, guess what? There is no moose, as far as I know, in Oregon. But I'm like, oh God, is that a moose? And my wife looked at me and goes, there's no moose in Oregon. I'm like, oh, thank God. But funny thing is, we heard another one, moo. Now this time it came from a different area, and I looked at her. I go, "You hear that?" And she's like, "Yeah." And it's pouring. You gotta close your eyes and picture this. It's pouring outside. You got lightning strikes and thunder coming down on you. You have these dogs that are restless, and then you hear moos, and I'm like, "What the hell is that?" Now, one or two moves, that's one thing, but we were looking at each other. This is going to be familiar every time I tell you a story, but I lit a cigarette, and we're smoking. You heard another moo. Now, here's the funny thing. I'm not a cow expert, but all these moos seemed in different distances, different volumes. It was like a cow was outside running behind one tree, moo, and then running to another tree, moo. And I'm looking at her like, what the hell is going on? Now, it's pitch black. Except for some lightning strikes, you're not seeing anything. We looked outside the tent, we couldn't really see anything. I figure, I know in Nevada and places you got free range cattle, but in Oregon, I didn't know about any free range cattle. Maybe some cows got out, the lightning scared them. It went for like an hour. And, once in a while we hear a move, but nothing major. And then the storm kicked in, and it just started lightning strike after lightning strike. And it was like going to a concert. It was like strobe effect. And then we started hearing moos. Not one, not two, not three. It was like moo, moo, moo. On the right of us, behind us, in front of us. They were everywhere. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? And then the lightning keeps on striking. And I'm telling you, I see the shadow of a cow. And then I see the shadow of another cow. And I look outside, and during the lightning strikes, you should have saw my face, man. I almost peed myself. I don't know if I peed myself out of fear or I peed myself because I almost busted out laughing. But they were surrounded by cows. I mean, cows as far as you can see. There was cows everywhere. It was like out of a movie, a cartoon. Like what, I forgot the name of that comic strip where, the cows have the hunter and everything. But that's how it seemed, just like cows everywhere. But these cows were moving through the campground. They're going around the tent, around my Jeep, and they were everywhere. The whole campground was filled with cows. It's funny, but at the same time, you understand, lightning going off, the dogs are nervous, my wife's in the tent, I'm looking out, and I'm seeing these cows surround us, and cows also get scared by lightning. And you see a couple of them get nervous, and they do the little trot forward. I close the tent back, I go, oh my god, I think we're in the middle of a stampede. And for the next 15 minutes, all we had were cows going through our campground, and every time a lightning strike came out, the freaking cows shadows are on a tent. I'm like, I can't make this up, man. I mean, it was the funniest thing I ever saw. If I wasn't freaking also scared that we're gonna get trampled by some freaking New Jersey heifer or whatever kind of cow it is. Well, after a while, the cows were there, nothing happened, no one trampled the tent, but they stayed with us pretty much all night, and it was the funniest thing I ever saw, man. It's a short story, but it's real, man. I can't make this shit up. I'm sorry for the profanity, but that's worth it right there. Okay, I hope you liked the little story. It's just a little short story. You have a great day.